Alright everybody, welcome back to the moth-hawk project, and today we're gonna go fixing this bit over there. Yes, that's what we're gonna be doing today. As you can already see, we have been doing already quite well on the moth-hawk project, and I'm very happy how far we already are pushing, and well, I'm trying to keep it consistent on every day doing it, but sometimes things get in the way. So yeah, but no further ado, let's get started. It's always lovely to know that, outside it's totally raining and there is no great thing than just winter coming up soon, and then all the things are gonna get very cold. It means also that I'm gonna be very cold with my nose. It's a thing that happens. Alright, so today we're going to be trying to get from point A to point B. So we're going to go for... Let's see. Today we want to go for... right about here. That would be good. Right about here would be good. So around this line we want to do. So that we only need to do tomorrow only this line, and then that should be fine. Alright. No further ado, let's get started. First things first, we need to actually add some more stuff to it, so we're gonna do that. Because apparently there is some things that need to be... That's 10, that's not good. We need 3.6. Yeah, it happens, it happens. It's always going back to the default. It's a thing that I cannot avoid. Also, I noticed when today, I believe, today, that one of the sites that I visit actually went for a new layout of the Facebook layout on comments and all that stuff, and that's annoying as hell because I always remembered it like easy to look up comments. Now it's like you have this big giant picture in the way. And you cannot scroll it away because it's on the sideway, and that's very annoying. So you cannot scroll it out. I probably need to look up like if I can fix that or if there's any way to do that, but probably not. Probably ain't not possible. But the good news is that well, the good news is that I'm not too much reliant on that thing anyway. I'm just looking at it like, oh, well, this is silly. So yeah. Normally I don't use Facebook, so that's why I'm not getting disturbed too much. Most things I always do is like I'm doing drawings in the day, in the early day, and then work on doing some games in the midday, and then go back to playing some, drawing, and then you get the point. So gaming, waking up, gaming, drawing, walking, drawing, gaming, and then live streaming. So that's most likely my my go-to thing that I normally do. The main problem now is that my mom is still a little bit still has a few flu a little bit, and that makes her a little bit not tired. And therefore, I also need to make sure that I prep food and all that stuff, which takes away some time, and I'm very bad at scheduling sometimes. So I'm trying to do my very best upon scheduling correctly. So now that we have done the light drawing, we can now go for the full drawing. And this is not good. I need to do an update on the tablet. Interesting. For once that the calibration is off. Oh well, what happens, you normally need to do the calibration every time when you try to do a drawing, but I'm not that kind of a person when it comes to calibrations. I'm most likely doing it most on the eye. Let's see, here it is. Cool, pen settings and then pen calibration. Can I do that? Oh, there is a Interesting. There is a thing that I can go for the functions tool. Yes, that's interesting. Right, hold on. No, I don't need that one. I need the other one. I need the pen calibration instead of the pen settings. Sorry about this. Normally it doesn't happen too much. But, alright. So, press 1 button, 2 buttons, 3 buttons. There you go. And then 4 buttons. And now it should be... yeah. Yes, it is now on the... Is it? No, one more time. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yes, much better. Hold on. Not much better. What the? Alright, something is off. I don't know what it is. I can find it out. Probably it's the pencil itself. Ugh. If it is the pencil itself, I need to replace it. Oh well. There you go. Now I'm in the full. Yes, now I'm in the full. Alright, good. Good. Why is it now back in the erasing mode? I don't know. So yeah, since that we now do the collaboration, it means that we can now just accurately draw without any hesitation. It's one of the main problems that I always have with this tablet, that I always forget the calibration sometimes. But it is not supposed to be necessary most of the time. There you go. Yeah, that's more like it now. It's more on the right side of things. So yeah, it has been a little bit hot today, and well, it has been hot, and then it has been very windy. But it is getting colder, which can be a little bit of a downside, especially when you try to do stuff like drawing, because well, it's getting way wetter and way colder, so therefore I need to make sure that I'm sleeping, and then, you know, don't forget to close the window, because, you know, cold windows can get very fast some sore throats. It's a thing that can happen, and I don't like that. I don't like sore throats. It's one of those things I don't appreciate, especially when I try to talk or something like that, and it's like, good morning all, and you know, it's horrible. It's a horrible voice. Cracking voices, ugh. Worst case scenario ever. Oh well. So yeah, today we're gonna be doing the lovely, well, as you can see, the lovely lines, and then once we do the lines, we can see if we then have still some time left to do the coloring in, but no need for worry on that, because sometimes, you know, you just need to casually work your way around it, and then it all will add up later on. So yeah, I have been working on my other drawing as well, and I must say I'm getting actually quite nice feeling of it. I'm almost fully done with the design choice that I'm gonna go for, or what? Well, design choice. It's more like, you know, this is a design choice. It's more, yeah. It's a design choice on what kind of environment I want to have it in. For instance, I knew that I wanted to go for cards, but then I realized, like, well, cards don't really suit it. It doesn't make it look great, because, you know, it's getting all obscured. There you go, the word. There you go. It obscures a lot of things. So it removes visions of the drawing. Therefore, you know, because you have a big giant blob in the way, it doesn't show. It removes certain things in the environment, and I don't like that. I like to have my environment as clean as possible, so that, you know, you don't get disturbed by a big giant thing in the way. Because nothing is more problematic than having something in the way and you cannot deal with it. because you know you want to know what's on the other side, and you cannot do that once you have stuff like the cards sitting in the way, and you cannot remove it because, well, you know, it's in the way of your vision. You want to see more of the background. So I came to a solution. It's not a very solution yet. I came to the solution after I did the drawing. After I went with the full thing of the card idea. I know it sounds really stupid that, you know, you get way too late for whatever you wanted to do in the first place, but I found it quite amusing to know that now, like, wait a minute, I could have done it this way and that would have been much better. But it is a good learning curve. It's a good learning curve because it creates ideas that you are like, well, this idea would work, and then you look upon it and you're saying like, well, this looks like shit. And you change it up a little bit. It is fun to do, you know, trial and error. It's one of those things that help you improve upon your journey, upon knowing how to draw and knowing how to do things. Same as the moth-hawk project. It's a big boy. It's a big boy. It has some issues. It has some non-issues, and the more I do this, the better I get at it. And once this thing is finished, you know, I can then finally do something else, totally different. Totally different, I mean, same style, different drawing. There you go. Of course, you know, the whole drawing of the moth-hawk project is all about, you know, giving the feeling of, you know, this fantasy forest that, you know, comes alive. And I think I'm already having that kind of feeling towards it. And that makes it really nice to look at. Of course, you know, we need to have these trees and all that stuff and all the lovely leaves in there and as well. But yeah, it already creates this feeling of, you know, yeah, you're a little bit in a not in a fantasy forest, but more like in a forest, and you come across this creature. Even though it might look normal towards you, it does feel odd. Why? Because, you know, it has a tail with big giant crystals in the back of it, and you're like, wait, what? How did that get here? That kind of a feeling is it? It's pseudo-realism. Realism. There you go. It's like you're daydreaming, but then the dream becomes real. Yeah, that's the word. Of course, not every dream is the same. Don't get me wrong there. I always have those lovely dreams about, you know, falling out of bed. Those lovely dreams like, hey, I am free falling, and then it's like, oh damn, I'm free falling, and then, you know, you wake up and it's like, why was I falling again? I'm literally on the other side of the bed, and nothing happened, and I mean like nothing. It's like as safe as possible place where I ended up with my sleep. That's like, all right. So yeah, it's great to know how things go and how things go around. I also like how I approach the problems that I had today with the drawing I was doing with the sweater design. Because of the main problem with the card that it didn't fit right, I came to the solution of like, what kind of idea do I need to then put in there that will make good work? So I looked back at the thumbnail and I realized like, alright, if I do this and that, then that would work. So what I'm going to be trying to do is then doing a swallow movement. So I'm going to be going for a kind of calendar. Yeah, calendar. A stone calendar, and then, you know, have this whole prophecy on top of it, and then, you know, getting the track being swallowed by getting the track swallowed by the prophecy, and then, well, that's the idea. So, it's gonna be looking great. I just need to have a little bit more time on that, and then once I'm done with that, so I'm already I already drew. I already put 6 hours in now on that thing. 6 in total. Yep, 6 in total, I believe. So my idea is that I will try to finish the drawing up in 30 hours, I believe, and then call it a day. I don't think I will be able to make it that far, but not far, but I won't be able to make a very good assumption, because it is indeed a drawing, and I'm very inexperienced when it comes to drawing in such a way that, you know, it all represents all the main cast and all that stuff. Alright, so we only need to draw until here. Alright, thank you. Thank you, line. I really needed that. So, the main issue here is that we need to have the tree right there. And then one more tree right there. So we only need to draw this part up with lines. Alright, that's great. So yeah, the sweater design is going to be looking great afterwards. I hope, at least. I don't have like all the high hopes, but I'm sure that, you know, once we get things up and running, yeah, it should be fine. I'm very happy upon the. Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! How do I do this one? Need to draw a line right here, and then get that part into the tree. Yes. So this part should not be there. This part should not be there. Like that. That should be fine. Yeah, like this, and then end it right there. Yeah. And now I need to figure out how to do this part. All right. Now I need to close down this one, otherwise I'm gonna get really confused. So what I need to do now is actually create the tree effect of big oak barish kind of look. Alright. Should definitely put this on full screen. Totally forgot about that. Well, it happens. I know that for sure, but it's a little bit difficult, you know, when you have like this kind of drawing and knowing that all this effect, all these ripples, all these kind of strokes need to be, well, they need to be connecting in a way that works with the tree. Because sometimes a tree doesn't work as you think it would be. Main issue here is that, well, you know, we have the tree, but then we also have the idea of that the tree does come alive a little bit. And so if we have the tree, we should definitely move it a little bit, go upwards, downwards, and then this way, and then this should be the part where everything is going to get merged. So right here, go that way, like so. Yep. And then I need to remove this part right here because this is ugly. All right. So yeah, the main issue here is that we need to make sure that this tree looks nice, but we also need to make sure that the tree does feel natural, and that's where, you know, the lines come in play, because we don't want to have all the lines to be the same. That's the main issue. If we do that, we can say our glorious drawing goodbye, because if every line is the same, that means that the variety in the tree won't work, and we need variety in the tree to let the texture take place, because the texture is very important. Therefore, you know, it needs to stand out because it needs to represent the bark skin. The main downside is that if we do the, you know, all the same lines, so like this is a line, this is a line, this is a line, it creates a it creates a kind of effect that I don't want, because it creates a little bit too generic kind of tree bark that doesn't feel living. Is that the right word? Yeah, living. Anyway, so we're now at the point where we are just gonna be putting our stuff down, and we're just gonna add this thing up and up. And this is why it's very important. I know that today has been a good day for me for being still a little bit tired of work of Monday, but oh well. But I also know that I am literally trying to do my very best upon getting all this stuff done. I do some drawing and then I do, relaxing again. And I know it's very important to keep up with the moth-hawk project, because otherwise, I don't have the feeling anymore in the tree, which is important for us right now. So yeah, that's why, we're doing it. If it wasn't for the tree, then oh my, the tree wouldn't be there. But yeah, I want this drawing to be finished by, I believe, New Year. And therefore, the drawing needs to be getting into high gear. Main downside is, this is not a very good thing to go for high gear. It's not a thing that I can just do, like, oh well, I just woke up, let's do the moth-hawk. No, that's horrible. That's not a good idea. The moth-hawk is one of those things, it's one of those exceptions of like, oh, you want to draw on this? Congratulations, you can't, because this thing is actually really hard to do. Because my hand is already getting tired of all these motions, and is getting really warm. It means that, it means that I'm actually did a lot today. And which is true. I did a lot, but not a lot in a normal regular guy's perspective. I did not do a lot, but in my perspective, oh, I did a lot. I did some work. I went to the grocery store. I went to the grocery store. I cooked dinner today. Well, cooked dinner. I actually bought dinner almost. I warmed up dinner. I warmed up a pizza, and even that was like, yes, these pizzas, again, lovely. It's not a bad pizza, but it is not one of the most things that I would not eat regularly. It's like, oh well, once, and then, don't touch it for a long time because, well, it's too, how do you say that? Too watery? Yeah. It's like eating dry paper. It's like, yep, that's paper, right? I taste paper, so that should be paper, right? And I don't mean like pepper, I mean literally paper. So yeah, it tastes like there is nothing. And why would you taste paper, you ask? Well, because you want to draw, because you want to create something, and then you need some saliva sticked with paper to put it on there. Literally helps. Or you can go for glue, but glue sometimes is very annoying. But yeah, I needed some wet paper, so I was like, oh well, I'll chew this and then, get a little part done and put it on somewhere. That's how I know how paper tastes. It's very dry, which, is really normal for paper. Paper, very dry paper. Yes, very dry. Now, what's some extra? Dry sauce. Alright. Enough of that silly talk. Well, was I silly? No, probably not. I was actually quite serious about that. Oh well. So yeah, we have this. Now, how are we gonna make sure that this is all gonna be connected properly? Well, we're gonna add right there, and there you go. It's all connected now. Nice. So, one big boy left, and then we can call it a day. And I'm very happy upon how far we already are with this drawing. As you can see, we're we're doing this step by step, and step by step means really step by step. And that makes the drawing more alive. It makes the drawing more special towards, and it works then far more better than if you had like something that does not fit right. Of course, you know, you have this drawing that needs to be going from one place to another. So you should go for something like this, and then boom, you cut it off right there. And knowing well that this drawing is taking a long time, it means that also that, you know, I'm already learning from a long time. Yes, true. I'm improving my drawings, but I cannot do the drawings that are like this. That's very important to understand, because I could do some drawings that would, you know, represent this kind of drawing style, which normally is my favorite go-to. The main problem I have with this drawing style is that it is very not thick, more like very time consuming, and requires a lot of concentration from the head to do right. Because we have like things like the tree, we have things like feathers, we have things like skills, we have things like rocks, and they all need to have textures. Of course, you know, you could draw the texture, you could also import texture from somebody else, you know, who has a stamp file, and say like, yeah, I'm just gonna do this. And then, that's where the problem lies. Because you're using a stamp, it is already obvious where and how the drawing is gonna be looking like. It's not gonna be very unique, because, well, it does not create that uniqueness of like the tree and the bark skin that I'm now drawing right now. And because I'm drawing it handily made, it means that, you know, every single part of the detail is not lost. With the stamp, you can you have sometimes trouble with, you know, getting the pattern right, or you need to edit it a little bit to create variety. Here you just can go like, oh well, I already am done with it. Like, I only need this and that, and then boom, there you go, you have my pattern that you need. This requires more work, this requires more time, but it does give you more of a feeling of a tree later on. And that's important. Like, I did use, in one of my drawings, I did use the easier version of, you know, representation of wood. It's quite cool. It quite looks nice. But that's because, you know, it's a far more less detailed drawing. I'm talking about, of course, the sweater idea. I drew wood there, and also in the moth-hawk project thumbnail, I drew wood, but that wood does not look like this wood. It looks far more cleaner, less detailed. There you go. Words. My word count. It is not a lot, but I'm getting there. It's getting better. It's getting better, but not right now. I'm trying to do my very best upon getting to the point where I want to be, and then, you know, go onwards from there on. As you can probably see, I'm trying to do my very best on getting the idea done. That is quite fun. And it is, you know, just drawing upwards. And this kind of tree drawing, alright? This kind of tree drawing, this bit, this will take an hour. Will it feel like an hour? No, not really. Not really. It didn't feel like an hour. It will feel heavily on your eyes. Don't get me wrong there. The eyes, they're working over hours. And that's not because I'm actually working on the. That's not because I actually work on the drawing. I'm literally should go to the eye dentist. I believe that's the word, right? The person that, you know, gives you a new set of glasses, because apparently the amount of pressure on the eyes is getting a little bit high. Because, well, I need to refocus a lot. in that long distances, and that drains a lot of energy out of my eyes. So yeah, I need to do that. The only downside is, why did you not go today or yesterday? And I'm like, well, I didn't have the time, and I needed to see if I had enough to go there, because, well, you know, it costs money, and you don't want to be going in the reds if you doing stuff like going on a train trip. That's one of those things. So probably tomorrow I will probably go to that store and then get myself a new set of glasses. And why am I doing it? Because, well, you know, I need a new set of glasses, because this one is actually getting a little bit rigged. It's not very nice anymore. It's very broken. The ears are almost pulling off. So yeah. Need to get rid of old-fashioned Charlie, and need to get a new Charlie too. Charlie the second. There you go. Why did I name him Charlie? I don't know. I just needed to find a good name that was easily to pronounce. Charlie. Alright. So yeah. That's how things work in the drawing business. You know, you need new set of glasses, you need all this kind of stuff, and well, you know, you probably are working on your drawings, and therefore you cannot be interrupted. Also, you realize it way too late. Trust me. If your eyesight is going back or down, which happens when you're growing older, you don't immediately recognize it. I recognized it when I went out with my friends. Then, you know, I went like to the train station, and, well, I couldn't see the letters anymore. Too sharp. I was like, wait, are those letters? And my eyes were like, oh man, do we really need to focus right now? My eyes are already tired. Yeah, so yep, I need to refresh on my refresh skills, because if I get my new set of glasses, then, well, you know, I won't be feeling my eyes burning like there is no tomorrow. So that's a thing that I need to do. Improvement. Like improving upon my PC, I also need to improve upon my eyesight. Oh well, it happens. Now, since we're done here, we can now see if this is working well. Does this feel like a tree? Well, it does feel like a tree. There you go. That place needs to be right there. Now that's good. That's good. Alright. So now we're gonna put the big old color in there. Big old fashion color. And just use it to see if we can get the right amount of stuff on it. Did I press the wrong color? Probably. Hold on, double check. Oh yes, I did. Lovely. It's a little bit less dark. Well, so yeah, we only need one more of this, and then we can go onwards. So yeah, we did it again. We completed the quest for today, which is lovely because, well, you know, it might look like a lot, but it isn't. It is actually quite a little bit. But with enough expertise we made it to the end again. Let me just double check if nothing just disappeared out of nothing. No, nothing happened. Alright, good. We're gonna save this bad boy because that's how we do. And 4.2 gig. That's not bad at all. That is quite the best. Alright, so what did we do? We completed again a lot more tree, which is lovely. Hey, that rhymes. Alright. Allow me to just look at the timer. And we can see that we are still having 15 minutes left to do something. Well, why not? So we're gonna do the thing that we need to do in the first place. And maybe we can get to the part that we want to do in the second part anyway. So yeah, we're gonna do the old-fashioned drawing again. So, yeah. It's all about, you know, finding out what works and what doesn't work. And just working casually towards the end goal. And that's the most important thing. You want to work towards your end goal. If you don't work towards your end goal, you know, you get sidetracked a lot. I know that because, well, you know, I get always sidetracked. And I'm trying to get my stuff up and running properly, but, well, it's really hard. It's really, really hard. And so, working on this drawing sets me, like, you know, not 2 steps back, but it sets me 2 steps back and then 3 steps forward. That's how this project worked. It's not called a project for nothing, you know. Because, well, you know, I improve upon myself, I improve upon learning how to do the shading, I'm improving upon how to work with colors. And since that I'm always working on my drawings, like, you know, today I worked on my drawings, yesterday I worked on my drawings. It might not be always the same drawing, but it does implement that, you know, because I'm working on my drawings, I improve upon myself because, well, the more work you do, the more insight you have upon certain types of events that are happening or can occur. For instance, with the card problem, I wanted to draw some cards and then let them pop out, but I can't because, well, you know, I'm lacking the skill. So I have to improvise. It's either, how are you going to draw a card that is broken down? Or you can go for the alternative route and be like, what are you good at and that suits the team? Oh, look at that. That is a very interesting spin-off. Because you might not be able to draw the card properly and you cannot draw it like, you know, a real cool person would. You know, you're not too fancy skilled with it. I'm also not fancy skilled with it. You're like, what could I do that makes it more interesting and does have the same effect? Oh well, look at that. I found it. So, I'll tell you what I found out. Because I had problems with drawing a card that was torn apart, I actually went for the idea of a gaping mouth effect. So the gaping mouth comes from the roller coaster behind it, so it's like in the background you see the gaping mouth and the roller coaster comes out of it, alright? But what I want to do is actually surround that kind of idea with a big giant calendar. Well, a stone calendar, of course. And since that stone is apparently a thing that I can do, don't ask me how, it's quite easy, but it's a thing that I can apparently do. So I went with it and I was like, well, I can make this and I can make cool figurines in it. And I just took a stone calendar from the Mayas that has been photographed, and I was like, well, I just placed this right there and then you know, just draw over it. It worked properly. It worked decent. It just had some little issues, and it worked pretty well. The only downside was that, of course, that I forgot that I was still using the idea of broken card effect. Well, I actually had to use the gaping mouth effect. So I did it wrong. But I didn't do it fully wrong. I did it wrong in such a way that, you know, it's still usable. The whole damn thing is usable. And the idea of, you know, having these pods being there floating around in space, that's really cool. So that's the idea. We're gonna put some stone statues of Mayas into space because, you know, who doesn't like to have very scary stone debris flying around in space? That's that's quite spooky. So yeah, I'm gonna be doing that. I'm gonna be doing that instead of, you know, my card design that totally backfired like hell because, you know, I kind of it didn't went well. So yeah, I'm gonna be doing that and see how I'm gonna be going. Well, see how that is gonna be ending up. Of course, it's gonna be giving that temple run effect, and I figured out like, well, temple run effect. When was that? Well, apparently the temple run effect was also the temple run effect could be in the late 800s, I believe even. So what is the 800s? That means that the industrial age is gonna be up and rising, which also gives way for the cowboys and Indians. So yeah, it works pretty well. Even though, you know, Mayas might not be, you know, a thing anymore because, well, you know, 1600. But it does give the cool Indiana Jones style of, kind of effect, which is also very charming. So yeah, as you can see, it's not the I'm not too tired from this drawing. I'm just, you know, very concentrated on it, and well, you know, it's a very big thing to do, and that is most likely the thing that holds me back sometimes. And that's why I always need to take some little healthy breaks, because otherwise, you know, you're probably gonna be snapping your head and like, oh my god, why am I doing this right now? And that's the thing. It happens. It happens. You need to take a cool, deep breath and just, you know, casually work with the flow, see where you need to go, and then once you find your flow, you just need to press onwards. There is no shame in not. There is no shame in, you know, saying like, well guys, I just need a break. But I always try to avoid that because, well, you know, I don't want to take a break. Pfft. Breaks are not for me. But how then you do that? How then you take that break even though you don't want to have a break? Well, that's the fun part. You don't take the break, but you take the time that you do for other things, and you just be like, well, what I'm gonna be doing then? Well, you're just gonna do a walk. And that's why I'm doing the walks most of the times. Because I'm doing the daily walks, because, well, you have to find one way to clean up your mind, and you also need to do some fitness activity because, well, you're doing a sitting job. So, well, why don't you just walk 6 miles? And then people ask me like, are you insane? 6 miles is a lot. And I'm like, yep, 6 miles is a lot, but I don't give a shit. Because I don't want to be, well, you know, I don't want to become big and round. That's all the things that I don't want. And I want to just, you know, do some stuff. So, yeah, daily walks work well. And the funny thing is that actually a lot of things, I come across a lot of things while I'm doing the daily walks anyway. So that's fun. Like car accidents and police coming down with sirens out. Like, oh yeah, baby. And I'm not even scared of doing these 6 mile walks anymore because it's like, oh, well, it's just a 6 mile. Oh, boo-hoo. That's a lot. But no, it's not actually. I believe I am strong enough or conditioned enough to do 12 miles. Probably. I can do 12 miles as well. But the main problem is that, you know, I have a timer to come home. So therefore, you know, 6 miles is enough. Because, well, you don't want to come late when you have dinner ready and it's like, I just came back and there is no, all the food is already cold. No, that's a horrible thing to have happening. So yeah, I'm working very well on getting all the things done that I want to do, and I'm very happy upon how much time has been already spent on doing the things I love, because, you know, that's important. So yeah, what I'm now doing is actually increasing the lighting and then slowly drawing upwards. Ooh. There you go. And as you can see, the tree is getting shaped. And that's important. The tree is getting its bark skin. And we're just filling up time to just get to the point of 1 hour. Even though, you know, we're already done with our task, we're just gonna continue with the task that we actually wanted to do afterwards. Because, well, you know, 1 hour is still 1 hour. And that's the main goal. Trying to fill up the 1 hour, but sometimes you can't, or sometimes, you know, you feel too tired to do it. And then that's when you just need to take a break. And that's important as well. Taking breaks is healthy, and you should do it. Definitely. And does this look great? Well, it does. It actually does. Nice. Alright. And no, did that one. And then turn it around. Allow me to just take a double look. Well, 3 minutes left. Yeah, that's not going to be happening. Alright, so tomorrow we will try to finish up this part right here. And then, you know, start the drawing part as well. If that's possible. Alright. I hope you all have enjoyed for today. And thanks all for watching. And I hope I'll see you all next time. Until then, I wish you all a lovely day. Bye!